A crucial step in the web development process is registering a domain name. This step is optional and only needed if you require a uniquely identifiable web address, such as google.com. If you do not register a domain name, your site can still be made publicly accessible using your web server's IP address. The IP address will be assigned to you regardless of the type of web hosting solution you decide to use. Both traditional and cloud hosting providers will assign you the IP upon registration of hosting services. A domain name is highly recommended if you plan on marketing your website or building brand awareness. The name is very easy to register and there are many companies offering registration services. These companies are known as registrars. In addition to the registrar, we also have registries which maintain the domain name records that are registered. If you want to register a domain name, let's say examplewebsite.com, you could request the name through a registrar. The registrar will check with the relevant registry to see if the name already exists or if it's available. If examplewebsite.com is available for registration, your registrar will add it to the .com registry on your behalf. The organization that coordinates registrars and administers the top-level domain registry is known as ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. ICANN also manages the list of approved registrars. The term top-level domain refers to the most common and most sought-after domain name extensions such as .com, .net, .org, and several others. For information purpose, .com is an abbreviation for commercial or for non-profit, .net for network, and .org for non-profit organization. Choosing an extension that is relevant to your business model is always a good practice. Note that the registry for CC top-level domains, which stands for Country Code Top-Level Domains, are administered independently of ICANN. CCTLD include extensions such as .jp or Japan or .us for United States. These domain extensions are managed according to the relevant oversight and governance mechanism within the country. When it comes to domain name registration, there are many different registrars we can choose from. A Google search on domain registrars will provide hundreds of results, all offering different incentives to register through their service. It is very important to select a registrar that is reputable and also offers domain name security and administration through an online portal. Remember, the more time you spend building your website's brand, the more valuable it becomes. It's not uncommon for a web-based business to become successful over a short period of time. Using a registrar that does not provide adequate support or secure a domain name can leave it vulnerable to theft and very costly later on. The registrar you choose will primarily hinge on the value you attribute to the domain. Now and in the future, like any other business, the more time and resource you invest into it, the more valuable it becomes. If you plan on making large investments in building your web brand, we are spending a lot of time in it. You want to make sure you use a well-established domain registrar that works with other well-known internet brands. A few examples include safenames.net, cscglobal.com, and markmonitor.com. These companies are well-known in the industry and used by some of the largest internet-based companies in the world, such as Twitter and Facebook. They offer extensive brand protection services, including domain monitoring, enforcement, security, and trademarking. Note that these companies are also more expensive, especially if you decide to use their extended brand protection services. If you are a startup company or registering a domain for a personal website, you likely don't need anything that's sophisticated or costly for a small to medium-sized web-based business. Some of the popular registrars include GoDaddy.com, enom.com, and twocows.com. Each of these companies offer a relatively good domain security and administration service through their web-based portals. If we were to use statistics as a measure of registrar popularity, GoDaddy.com is easily the largest, administering over 50 million domain names. In this lesson, we will show you how to register and administer a domain name on the GoDaddy.com website. The concepts explored here are applicable to any registrar you decide to use. First, we need to check if your desired domain name is available or not. To do so, type the domain name into the search bar located here on the GoDaddy.com homepage. I am just going to use some sample website. If your domain name is available, you will see this message displayed on the screen. If it is not available, you need to search for another domain. Certain domain names might be available, but at a premium price based on their popularity. For example, if we were to search for airbunny.com, we can see that it is available, but the price is much more expensive, around $3,300, and then a renewal cost of $19 per year. And this is because it's a premium domain. So be careful when you are registering and make sure you check the price to confirm that you are not paying a premium price for a domain. And you can see that this is not a premium domain, so it's available for $299 a year. If we scroll down here, you can see we also have the option of registering the domain name, but with different extensions, and there are many different types of extensions you can choose from. A .com is probably the most popular, but you also have a .net, .ca, .org, and the list goes on. So, if you wanted to add those, you could just click the Add to Cart button next to the corresponding name. But for the purpose of this lesson, we are just going to register a single domain name. So, click the Add to Cart button, and once you see the check mark next to the selected, click the Continue to Cart button. By clicking the selected button, we have added this to our shopping cart, and now we are just proceeding to check out. Before you confirm your order, GoDaddy.com will offer you additional products. The first is domain privacy. This is an important feature if you would like your domain ownership records to remain private. Remember that by default, all top-level domain registration details are made available to the public through ICANN. We can confirm this by visiting lookup.icann.org. Here we can search a domain to find information about the registered owner. So let's go ahead and search google.com. This page contains the whois information for google.com. We can see there's quite a bit of information listed here. We can see the registration, administrative, and technical contacts for the google.com domain. This includes things like name, organization, mailing address, phone number, and email. We can also see the registrar, and that's the company that registered the domain name on behalf of google.com. The listed registrar is Mark Monitor Inc. We can see the updated, created, and registration expiration dates as well. We can see information about the name servers that Google uses, and we will talk about those later on. And then we have the raw whois record that contains even more detailed information about the domain registrant. If you register domain name under your own name and address, the information will be made publicly available just like this, without any domain privacy. It's generally a good idea to use domain privacy, so your personal or business information is not entered into spam list. To see what your domain information would look like with the domain privacy option, run a whois search on the name mywebdevcourse.com. You can see that all the information is concealed. The registration contact, admin contact, and technical contact is all listed as registration private, and the organization is domains by proxy. The mailing address also points to the proxy that the domain is registered through, including the phone number and email. We can see that the registrar is GoDaddy.com. We still have information about the name servers and the registration and update dates, but also there is no personal information included in the whois record. So that's the purpose of the domain privacy option. So in this case, we'll select yes. Next, you can specify if you want to add a GoDaddy shared hosting package for your website. Since the focal point of this course will be on cloud hosting, do not check off any of these options. We will be using a popular cloud hosting provider to host our websites. Next, we can add a professional email to our domain name. This means we can get an email such as me@mydomain.com. For example, the email service offered from GoDaddy is fairly expensive for what you get, and the webmail application is also quite slow and non-user friendly. We will using a service called Gmail for Work to create a personalized email address for a domain. The Google product is much better and offers many more features, and especially if you are accustomed to Gmail, then it offers an additional advantage as well. Once you have completed this page, click the Continue to Cart button. On this page, select selected terms you would like to register the domain for. There is a minimum term of 1 year, and the more years you register, for the higher the discount. But typically, you just do 1 or 2 years, and then if you decide to keep it after that, you would re-register the name and renew the name. Once you have selected your term, click the Proceed to Checkout button. Make sure that Make My Domain Private is checked off if you want domain privacy, and also choose your currency and then proceed to checkout. If you are a new customer, click the Continue button under the New Customers heading. Now enter your billing information in this section here. Under Account Information, enter your email address and also the username and password you would like to use to log in into the system. And then enter your payment information. If you are using credit card, and then just click the Continue button when you are ready to proceed. And once your payment is confirmed, you will receive an email confirmation. The domain name is normally ready within a few minutes, and you will also receive an email that requires you to activate your account by clicking a link. So once you have activated your account, in the next lesson we will log in and check out the administrative options.